What's up? Welcome to the Not a Podcast episode Who Cares?
That's right.
And today's a very special day because the person, the man, the myth, the legend, the dinosaur, Jackman is on camera. So if you ever wanted to see what Jackman looks like, that's what he looks like.
Probably a little bit more pale than they expected.
I don't know, man. Maybe they thought you're exactly as pale as you are.
Yeah, that's insulting.
Oh, shit. No, man, listen. Jackman, he started this production company. He quit his job. He decided to go full-blown into what his passion was, trying to make it work. So, I think it's just fitting to have you, brother, be part of this conversation so that the world that is out there trying to make their dreams happen, trying to make sure that they can fulfill themselves, all the bullshit that they keep seeing on the internet, I think people are trying to strive for, but they don't really understand what the meat and potatoes feels like, what it looks like, what it smells like. And, you've got me who's been doing it for a little bit. You've got you who just started. So I think, who better to dictate this process to people than us. But the only way they're going to hear it is if the people out there, you at home on your phone right now, click subscribe, talk about this fucking thing to your friends, spread the message. Let's try to get things going in the right direction. And as we try to give value, we try to improve. That's the whole idea.
That's it.
You know
That's
what I mean?
it. The more we get views, the better this production gets, the more value we can bring. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Right, man. Ultimately, what this is just people who are down the road from where you're traveling, trying to help you understand what the road actually looks like. Because when you start your journey, you have a perception of what the road's going to look like. And I'm going to tell you right now, not only is it nothing like what you think it's going to be shit that you didn't know existed. The shit that you didn't understand was possible. So, who better than those that are on the path already? Sometimes it's even more difficult because there's a lot of people out there who've become successful already, like multi-millionaires, big time companies, Elon Musk's, all these guys. And you take advice from those guys, but they're at chapter 57 of their story, and to apply chapter 57's lesson on chapter 1 doesn't always apply, right? Because there are things that you have to do when you first start that you're not going to continue to do, but you have to do to start. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the challenges, bro, like that you've had so far in this production business of trying to gain clients and earn money? Videotaping people talking.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, infinite, right? But it's figuring out the business aspect. Like even the start, even getting the LLC can be intimidating at the very beginning. Organizing, figuring out how do I space my time out? It's me. It's on me now. When do I, work on sales? When do I work on current clients? If I'm always working on clients, I can't be working on sales. So it's just so much.
Hold on. Explain that. What's the difference of working on current clients and working on sales?
So if I'm working on current clients, like for instance, I'm editing, I'm distributing these podcasts out. And then if I bring on too many clients right away, which is kind of something where I'm at, I'm only editing, which it's taking up 10 hours of my day. Sure. Every single day.
Yeah.
Which means I can't be going out and making a well-oiled machine where I'm bringing in new people and keeping that, pipeline. You always hear that full.
Okay. Can I challenge you? So if you're already spending 10 hours a day with current clients, how many more clients can you sign up?
0.
Okay, so why are we spending any time on sales if we can't execute the sale if we were to get it?
Okay. I guess I want to start working on how to scale or thinking ahead in scaling this.
Then I would challenge you and say don't do that.
Okay.
Because what you have is your current product. Mm-hmm. That's all that you exist as, right? Your past and your future don't exist. And I think this is a great topic because even in what I'm doing and anybody else that I've talked to, like everyone has a perception of what business is supposed to be. Okay? I need to have a plan. I need to have, where am I headed? I need to have this. I need to have. No, you don't. All you have to have is satisfied as fuck people that love what you do. That's all that you need because the rest of it will be taken care of if the people you currently are taking care of are blown out of the water. Okay? So for example, if you were going to take 3 hours out of your day instead of editing, instead of putting together an immaculate video, you took those 3 hours and you went and sat down with meetings for potential clients in the future. You've taken those 3 hours of perfection and you've taken them away out of your work, right? So you're going to then put people into a machine that does not produce the quality and level of stuff that it could. So instead, what I would suggest to do is to not try to do any sales and take what you have with who you have, blow it up so big that those people can't help but tell a million fucking people. And then you spend 0 hours trying to get new clients. And all you do is you produce the most amazing product possible, which then allows you to be much more selective with who you say yes to and future projects. Because right now you're basing on who you'd like to work with based off of what you think you can do now. That's not what you're always going to be able to do. Your education's going to get better. Your experience is going to get better. Your videos are going to get better. They're going to become more streamlined. They're going to be easier for you to edit. You're going to have your tactics and your tendencies that you create your personality by, right? And then you'll be able to choose the people that you're working with rather than right now, based off of your current value estimation in your own mind, go, yes, I'll say yes to this person and yes to this person because I currently don't think I'm good enough to get them. But when they get told to come to you, you're going to be way past the quality that they're asking for. Does that make sense?
It makes fucking total sense.
And then not only that, but now you've taken your need to like differentiate your focus and you've just brought it back to a single pinpoint. And nothing is as powerful as something that is directed to a single pinpoint. If I take a bowling ball and I know exactly where the fuck that thing's going to go, I'm going to throw it as hard as I possibly can into that spot. But if I think there's 14 spots it might go to, I'm going to tentatively throw it so as to, if I do fuck up, I don't go too far, left. You have to burn the fucking boats. You have to say, I'm going all in on this thing. Just like you jumped all in on your actual brand, your company, on what you do, you got to jump in and all in. And I relate to that here. Because, dude, there are 1.5 million ideas that I have about how to make a gym blow up. Okay, there's boot camp classes that I know no one else does that I have an idea to do. There's a way to create a community that technologically isn't being done right now that I know I can do. Like, there's so many grandiose ideas that I have that I know will blow the socks off of people. But the people that are here right now, there's plenty of people for me to double, triple, quadruple my business just off of the people that I currently have. So instead of trying to just keep gathering more fucking people, I'm just going to blow the living socks out of everyone that comes into this gym right now. And me, instead of spending 2 hours somewhere doing something that might create future business, I'm going to be in here doing what I know for a fact right now is going to increase business, because these people are going to be like, holy shit, that it's the cleanest, most organized, most friendly, most thoughtful, most attentive place I have ever been to. And that in of itself will draw people to it that believe in those same things. Does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense.
And dude, it's common, and I'm not saying anything like towards you about it. This is a very general thing that I learned very young, is like the want to play business is what usually destroys businesses. Like, I don't have an office. My office is where we store like store items and shit. You know, like there's a printer and some paper and then like hoodies and shit that we're gonna put in the store in my office. That's it. I don't sit there and like, you don't have to have an appointment to come talk to me, and I don't go to Starbucks and write on my fucking laptop, and like all these things that people do because they think that that's what needs to be done literally stops you from taking the time and putting it directly where your power is, and your power is your product. Number one, beyond all else, you have to have an immaculate product, no matter what. You can't skimp out on the product in order to put in marketing, right? If you have $100, you put all 100 into your product. Don't ever do 50 in your product and 50 into marketing, because then you're marketing something that's only half as good as it can be. So you know how much harder it is to sell half-ass shit than it is to not have to sell amazing shit? How hard does a Lamborghini salesman have to work?
Not very hard.
Dude, probably I haven't bought a Lamborghini, but in my assumption, the shit that's not as valuable is way harder to sell than the shit that is super valuable. Right? The hardest thing that a Bugatti salesman has to do is like, which color would you like? And, you know, like, what combination of leather? Like,
you want a model to go with that?
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, hey, you should spend the $6 million on this car. You're going to spend it because the value's already there. So Bugatti doesn't take the money and put it into marketing. Bugatti takes the money and puts it into Bugattis. And then that does the marketing for itself, right? We are 13 months in, 12 months in, and I don't have a sign on the fucking building. There's zero marketing, like not even a sign on the damn building. And we've got, you know, we've got a full gym's worth of members without any.
So what is your vision for the next gym then?
Yeah.
Like now that at what point do you get this gym to where you go, this is the fucking product I want, onto the, like, let's start
and dude, and that's the problem with creators and artists. Because I would say that, you know, I'm doing this out of passion, which number one is great because it lets me pour much more energy and focus into this than other people who are just doing it for business. But two, it also is a big thorn because I won't always make decisions based on business. I'll make a lot of decisions on passion, which unfortunately sometimes from like a one-to-one isn't great for business, right? You know, in terms of like return on investments and this and that and the other thing. I think passion will always take care of the business. It'll always take care of the money side. But to answer your question, like, when is this ready? Like, I'm going to have to make a business decision on when that's the case, because I, as an artist and as a person that's self-developing constantly, will always say there's more work to be done. I'll always say there's things to improve. I'll always say that it could be cleaner and nicer and cooler and better, right? So the really only way to know when to scale is the market will tell you when it's time to scale. The market will tell you, if I am getting crowded in here, it doesn't matter that I think I can make this place better. There needs to be another place, because if this place is crowded and I make it more and more and more and more, and I gather more and more and more people, I'm literally going to drive the quality then down. So then I'm going to need another location with another entire staff, and the market will tell me that.
Okay, so when quality becomes
compromised,
starts to get compromised, yeah,
correct.
That's when scale, in order to keep the integrity of that.
If you produce products, you go, when is it time for me to, like, you know, increase production? Well, when you can't keep up with sales, when your shit is sold out for months at a time because the factory can only keep up so much. Okay, now you're going to need to learn how to scale, right? The market tells you everything. Like, that's the thing that most people absolutely cannot stand, is the truth. And the market, meaning how well are your sales doing, that's the truth. Doesn't matter how fucking much the 4 people that love your product tell you how awesome your product is. If there's only 4 fucking people, and it's not as great as you think. And that's another tough part of running your own thing, is the people who like your thing are the ones that you're usually talking to, right? You're talking to your clients. If you're keeping your clients happy, then all you hear is positive shit, right? So then you get a convoluted concept of like, wow, I'm fucking incredible. Everyone I talk to says only great things about me. Yeah, but what about the people who aren't working with you? Have you talked to them genuinely and honestly and openly, and as to why they're not working with you? If you're not talking to the people who aren't working with you, you'll never really know why they aren't. Okay? Then you have to make the decision on, are their needs a need that I want to solve? Because there's people who don't work out here that if I were to bend to their needs, I would compromise my character or the things that I personally believe in. Okay, so if that's the answer they're giving me, well then I have to just go, no problem, brother. I wish you all the best. Everything's great. But if they tell me of something they're not working out, and it's And it's with my character that I'm oblivious to, because I'm too enamored with the passion and this and that to see that this is a glaring hole that we have. Well, then that's the thing I need to do to keep growing. The market will always tell you. So again, if I get to the point where people are like, Bart, this place is getting way too fucking crowded. Like, this place is amazing, but damn it, dude, I'm starting to wait on machines. I'm starting, or we can't keep up with how clean it is, or we can't keep up with the service. We start not being able to know everybody's name. Like, if we start doing that, okay, now I got to figure out another location. I got to figure out another equipment. But it's not like, oh, we make this much revenue, and then I'm going to take this much revenue, and I'm going to double it, and I'm going to open another location. If this one's barely gaining people, like, you're not ready for another location yet. You're going to spread yourself too thin. And then you're going to have to try to grow 2 spots, right? So if you hire another guy because you're getting a little overwhelmed with editing and you want a guy to go out and do sales, well, unless that other dude can edit, you're just in the same fucking place you are now, except you're pissing other people off because you can't fulfill their order. You see what I'm saying?
Totally.
So if you get to the point where you're editing all day and you're producing amazing content and people are starting to DM you going, hey man, I see your shit. Like, can you please produce mine? And you get 2, 3, 4 no's because you say, I don't have time. Well, then you go, okay, with those 4 no's, I can then reach out to my buddy who I know is also pretty good at this, and I can get him to start editing shit with me. And now I can take on those 4 people.
That's exactly what I just did.
Okay,
yeah.
Exactly. So, and no part of that do you have to go get sales.
Mm-hmm.
Sales come to you. Now, you've got a team of 12, and you've got a capacity that hasn't been even touched. Then you go snag people to put into your machine. But until that's the case, you know what I'm saying? Like, keep doubling down on, like, if you're gaining people naturally, like, why spend money to do that?
Yep.
And here in the gym, it's the same thing, dude. We're growing month after month without fail since we started. So that's 12 months of growth. Not a single month has dipped in growth. There's an entire section that I haven't finished yet, the recovery room with all of its cool things that I have in place. That's not even done yet. You as a leader of your own brand have to be very, very, very self-aware of which part of my thinking is artistic and which part of my thinking is like honest and real and market driven. Because those two things, you can justify so much. You can justify business shit because of numbers. Mm-hmm. When the market doesn't really say it, it's just you've manipulated the numbers to look like it because you want to make yourself feel better. Same thing is true on the other side. You can be artistic and want to spend another 2 days doing this, right? You want to spend a little bit more time because it's not just quite right. And I'm not saying you divulge your standards, but what I am saying is if something works, let it fucking work. Let it work until it doesn't work anymore and then make your changes. When we opened, it wasn't done by a long shot. My standards weren't met by a long shot, but it was able to work. So let it work, and while it's working, keep making it better.
And why was it able to work?
It was able to work because the basics were there. The foundational truths were there. The foundational standards were there. Cleanliness can be there. Organization can be there. The equipment to lift on was there. I had enough staff to be able to help people when they walked in, right? The basics, foundational truths of what this company stands for were there. So I was able to open without the nice little detailed touches. So, if in your mind you're like, okay, it'd be really cool that whenever someone signs on with me, I send them a care package and they have this, and I buy them branded logos of this and this and and you won't start until you can do that. Like, you ain't gonna start. Like, you need to just start and then add those nice little touches as you go. So, we haven't spent $1 on marketing, bro. I didn't spend $1 on marketing when I did my personal training business too, because it's the same thing. I could go out and try to gain clients, or the client I had, I wanted to fucking, how much does someone who gets your full attention, like, they get so much, because right now nobody gets people's full attention. So if you have that's the beauty of when you first start out, dude. Like that's actually like a thing that I wouldn't say I miss, but it's something that you definitely don't recognize, is your ability to just have to talk to 4 people or 5 people. And those are your, like 5 people are everything you have to worry about, right? Instead of 600, right? When you only have to worry about 5 people, you can make those 5 people feel like they're the only human being in the entire world.
And you just are capable of thinking about them like
all
you're
day.
Just going to be able to think about them.
Things that they wouldn't even think about.
Right.
Things, right? But as you gain clients, that becomes less and less. And the goal is to try to figure out a way for you to strategize your time to keep being able to make someone feel like they're the only human that matters, even if you only have a 2-minute exchange with them.
And that's not scalable, or is it scalable?
It is 100% scalable. It's then now you have to be a leader and create like-minded people around you that also are able to execute that same thing. And see, and that's the reason why like people who start shit, like they need to have that within them to want to do that. Unless you're trying, like I could have very easily, when I got as, full to the brim with personal training clients, I could have very easily just said, all right, I'm tripling my prices. And then I'm just going to earn, I'm going to try to earn $500,000 by myself with no staff, with just personal training. And that's possible. Like if you don't want the headache of having to manage people and help, hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of people, if you don't want that headache and you just want to manage yourself and do that, that's fine. But what I'm saying is like, I said no to so many personal training clients that I'm like, dude, my capacity to help people is much larger than just me. Like I can help people learn how to take care of people as much as I care about taking care of people. And so then if I have a staff of 20 that have that same philosophy, well, now I can help a fuckload more people. I can help thousands of people, even indirectly. I'm not personally helping them, but I taught this person to care and how to focus on details and how to help someone feel like they're the only person that matters. And then they help that person. I have a connection to that. Even though I don't have a personal connection to that person over there got helped by my person, which I do have a personal connection to. And like if you really want to change, like I want to change the fucking world, bro. Like I'm not fucking joking when I say shit like that. Like I literally want to influence, like I want to influence this building, and then I want to influence the surrounding cities that come to this building, and then I want those people to have such a culture in themselves that they influence other people that don't belong to the gym or don't know me. And then you see what I'm saying? If you're walking down the fucking parking lot with your cart, in your whole mind, you're like, I'm just gonna put this fucker on the curb, right? And then you see someone and they take their cart, or they take some cart off the curb and they start rolling it back. You go, fuck, I should put my cart back. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't happen without that first person. And so that first person, like I want to be patient zero to that shit. I want people, when they come in here and you see everyone taking the shit off, they see everybody turning the things over, they see everybody cleaning, they see everybody doing the things that you would love everybody to do. I want you to go to fucking Best Buy and do the same thing there. And then the people at Best Buy around you go, wow, that's different. I also believe in that. But I don't want to be weird, and I don't want to be the only guy doing it. But look, here's a guy, he's doing it, I'm going to do it too. And like that's how these movements start. That's how culture changes. So like I can't do that by myself. I need as big of a fucking staff as I can possibly have, right? Internal employees, and then turns into external employees. That's how I vision people out there. Is I want to influence not by saying you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. I want to give environments that show what's possible. People love the environment, and they're like, I would like to duplicate this environment at my house. I would like to duplicate this environment at my work. I'd like to because I love the environment. And I know it's possible because look, this public place does it. Right? So that's the point. If I don't have that as my forefront focus, then everything, you lose direction. You don't understand what you're doing all of this for. It's not easier for you to make hard decisions. Hard decisions become able to be done because you have a direction that you're trying to go. And that way you can make really tough decisions. You can say no to people. You can say yes to people. You can put your foot down on things that maybe make all the justifiable sense in the world, but because they're not toward the direction you're trying to go, it's not a yes. You know what I'm saying? Right? So, like, that's why the product is the most important thing, because the only thing you have to offer the world is your product. It doesn't matter how well you speak or how well you sell, or what they're left with is what you've produced. And that's true for not just business, but your own personal relationships too. You can tell your girl you love her all the fucking time, but if you don't leave a product that shows your love, right? The life you've created, or the things you've done together, or whatever, if you don't have a product to sell, like, you don't got shit, man. I don't give a fuck what you think you have. So you're only as good as what you produce. And that's nature. Like, that's a yin and yang, Eastern philosophy concept. Like, you're only as good as what you produce. And that's how the whole circle works. So you have to work on what you produce, make sure that what you're producing is exactly what it is that you want to produce, and then you can start worrying about how to get it into people's eyes and that and the other thing, And I think, dude, the part that makes that the most difficult thing is the fact that in order for you to create newness, bro, you're going to rub people very uncomfortably for a long fucking time.
Sounds bad without context.
Okay, don't rub people. Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, yeah, don't rub people uncomfortably. Make sure it's comfortable.
Make sure it's consensual.
Make sure they want you to rub them. No, dude, but like, think about this. Think about you brought on somebody to help you edit, right? Are they a better editor than you?
Equal. And more capable in the future to be a better editor.
They're capable of being better than you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what's to stop them from doing it themselves?
Because I'm the one willing to take the risk and start the business. I'm the one willing to go out and meet people. I'm the one that is willing to come here and actually do the shooting. There's
Gotcha.
a lot of moving balls that I'm the one willing to do.
So are you creating a partnership with this person, or are they your employee?
More so an employee.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what standard are they being set to for these videos in terms of quality? Your standard or his standard?
My standard.
Why? If he's a better editor.
Well, I guess my standard right now.
Not a wrong answer. I'm trying to peel away some shit for
I
you.
fucking love these questions. Yeah, I mean, and I guess to answer your question more succinctly, I'd prefer if he edits to his standard, if he's capable of being a better editor.
Who has set the standard?
The market.
Okay. There's going to be quality control.
Mm-hmm.
Who's quality control between the two of you?
I am the one who says this is okay to go to the client.
Okay, so you set the standard.
Okay.
All right. But see, that has to be a very understood by every party involved. Because if it's not, it's only going to cause turmoil, because, again, artistically, someone can justify the reason why they made it this way or that way or this way or that way, and they can convince you. Okay? So, for example, I have very strict standards for everybody that works on this team. My expectations of your ability to focus and look at details and never miss a fucking thing is astronomical. And it causes problems, quote unquote problems, because I am asking people to do more than they're currently doing. And everyone has a reason why what they're currently doing is what they're doing. And their reasons may be valid, right? So if someone, if I'm like, hey man, why you walked right by that thing 3 times and you didn't turn it. Oh, well, I was focused on this thing over here, and I don't care. I don't care, because you can do both. It is possible to do both. You're telling me that no human in the entire world has ever looked at that thing and then noticed this thing and then did this thing and then went and did that thing? It's bullshit excuses. If there's not one person that dictates what excuses won't be listened to because of what the standard is, then you'll have this wishy-washy back and forth. Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, because it's emotional at that point. Standards aren't emotional. Focus and all that shit might get lost. Is everybody perfect? Fuck no. Do I miss things? I'm sure I do. But I'm going to make sure that I miss the least amount of things that a human can possibly miss. And with that, I'm going to hold everybody else's expectations to that same expectation. But someone needs to set that. If I just say, hey guys, let's make sure the gym is clean, and that's it, well then what does that mean? What does clean mean? What does a good video mean? What does a clean edit mean? You see what I'm saying? That is your product, bro. That is your personality in the market. Your videos will look a certain way. They'll feel a certain way. They'll have a certain run time. They'll have a certain something that creates, just like a tattoo artist, right? There's tattoo artists that are so famous that everyone in the world knows that was their tattoo, right? It's not that they sign their name on it. It's just that they have a certain standard of work that they hold on to, and they will never relinquish that. So that's the hard thing about being an artist in that regard, is you have to get other people to care about the art as much as you do. And then you have to be the one that takes the risks to give them the freedom to express their artistic abilities without doing it themselves, right? You have to teach people how to run their shit so well that they don't need you, but you need to treat them so well that they don't want to do it without you. That's the hard part.
How do you communicate that?
How do you communicate which part?
How do you communicate the part about even setting the standard in the first place?
You just, number one, you do it yourself.
Yeah.
Visibly, audibly, exponentially, all the fucking time. Never, ever, 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 ever don't do it. There are times where I literally will go work out somewhere else because I spend so much time during my workout making sure everything is perfect in the gym that my workouts last like 3 hours. Because in my mind, dude, you have to be so fucking ultra competitive with your own expectations of yourself. You have to be, like, I'm at war with myself constantly. I'm at absolute wit's end war all day long because myself won't allow myself to justify shit. So again, if I'm working out and I know I have an hour, there's a piece of me that says, Bart, just don't worry about those pins, dude. Just get your fucking workout in because you have a meeting at this time and that time and this time. But that right there makes me feel like a giant fucking bitch because I know I am capable of moving those pins. And if I choose not to, then I'm choosing a substandard. Right? And so what am I supposed to show these people that I'm the leader of? Am I supposed to show them that, listen, these pins matter until your workout matters more, right? So if you're rushing, don't worry about cleaning up, right? No, the standard is the standard. We always uphold the standard. The quality is the quality. We always uphold the quality. So I can't say that and then someone witness me walk by something that should have been turned, or walk by something that wasn't put away, or walk by something that was just out of place. And they, even if they understand, even if they go, oh, that's Bart, his time is fucking crazy, he doesn't get a lot of time to work out, I'm sure he's just rushing through his workout. Even if everybody does that, do not let that happen. Do what you have to do for whatever standard you have set to never, ever, 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 ever fucking waver, ever. And if you do that, then because everyone notices everything. Everyone's watching all the fucking time. All anybody does is observe everybody else. That's human nature. Even if they don't acknowledge it, even if they don't say anything to you about it, they were always looking at what you're doing. Then, when you go to them because they didn't do something right and you say, hey, by the way, I noticed that you forgot to do this, that, and the other thing, they don't have shit to stand on to say, well, you don't do this or you don't do that. Because that's everybody's response, right? Everybody who's not actually actively trying to be better, their always response is, well, you didn't do this or that or the other thing. So you got to be damn sure that whatever you're asking everyone else to do, you do to 100th millionth degree, which causes frustration in your mind. You are going to be upset. You're going to be angry a lot. I'm telling you that firsthand. You just have to hold people to a certain expectation, and you can't justify why they shouldn't. Because the worst thing you can do is think so highly of yourself to be like, well, I'm just I'm special. Like Bart is a special guy who has unbelievable focus, and he's just going to be better at remembering things than everybody else. That's not fucking true. I'm a regular ass dude who just is choosing to focus. Everybody is capable of doing anything that I do. So if I, like, because that's what a lot of, I think some, high level or leadership type position people, they start thinking so highly of themselves that they don't even hold their staff or their friends or anyone to the same expectation, because they're like, well, I'm just special. Right? So I'll hang around these guys and I know they won't do as good of a job as I do, but that's okay because I'm unique. Like, I'm different. So because I'm so different, I can't expect them. That's why people hate their fucking lives, because they surround themselves with people who they're like, well, these are just average people. I'm above average, but I can't expect anybody else to be above average.
Great leaders don't create followers. They create other leaders.
Dude,
Yep.
They don't allow, it's not even, I don't create shit. I don't go out of my way to be like, I'm going to create Natalie to be this person, or I'm going to create Mike to be this person, or I'm going to create Jack to be this person. That's not what I am setting out to do. All I do is compete with my own mind all fucking day about what I think should be done, and I just do it myself, and I don't allow myself to be in an environment not like that. So inevitably, those that don't agree fucking leave. So I'm not choosing to change anybody. I don't care. I don't want to change anybody. I'm not here to change anybody. I'm here to be the best person I can possibly be, and those that also want to be the best that they can be, well, they're probably going to want to connect. They're probably going to want to stay around. The energies are probably going to meet, right? And then those that don't want to be anything like that, they're going to choose to leave. Those are the people that quit. Those are the people that talk shit. Those are the people that don't get it. And that's fine. But I'm not going to pull them into my circle. I'm not going to beg them to stay. So you have to remember that story I said about Kimmy and how we met and how I literally was like taught, like, I was okay if she would want to leave, because I'm not changing me and what I believe in for anybody. I'm just going to execute to the highest expectation possible. Now, if you actively attach yourself, well, then you best know that I'm not going to lower my expectations just because you're riding along in the same car. And then the hope is the people you surround yourself with start pulling you into higher expectations. Because as they see what's possible, maybe they have a little bit less on their plate than you do. And they can really double down on those standards. And then they can start thinking outside the box, because maybe they have a little bit less responsibilities than you. Maybe they don't have any kids. Maybe they don't have a wife or a spouse. Maybe they don't have a mortgage. And now they're free to even take the next steps because they have a little bit more time to think about what else this standard can accomplish. And that's when your team starts pulling leadership, which is ultimately where you have to get to in order to really become successful. I, as the leader, need to be inspired by my staff to do even greater, bigger things. And if I'm not, then I don't have the right staff. They should be holding themselves and me accountable to the same things I'm holding them accountable to. And then we should be collectively trying to go, where else can we go? How much bigger of a step can we take? Because if your whole job is just literally pulling them along, like, you've got the wrong fucking people. Period. No matter what. No matter how much you think they're making your life better, they're fucking not. They are dragging you down, and they're draining your energy. We only have so much, and it needs to be put into being able to go, what else is possible? Not, how do I keep what's possible happening?
Okay, for someone watching, they haven't even started setting standards for themselves yet. Like, where do you even begin to get to the point where it's like, fucking, that standard looks fucking crazy to me. What's one small standard in my life I can set to just fucking start?
Amazing question. It's an amazing question, because I was a piece of shit for a really long fucking time. And I did not have very high standards at all. I was able to play video games for the majority of the day, go work out, eat, and that's it. I didn't need anything else, right? I guess what I would say to that is to really take a look in the mirror and find out what you're displeased with in your life. What everyone has shame. Everybody is ashamed of themselves. Forever. You forever have shame. It's part of the human equation, and we can't pretend you don't, because you do. So what I would say is, if you can stare at yourself in the mirror long enough, and I mean, fuck it, even write down all the things you're shameful of, and then pick the one that you think is most heavily weighted as to why you feel shame, right? Because I can have maybe 10 things that I'm ashamed of. One of those things is what's creating my self-perception the most. Because I think the problem with standards for most people is they don't think they're valuable enough to have high standards. They don't think they're worth the high standard.
And maybe they're not even telling themselves that, but subconsciously they feel that
100%.
way. Is that fair? Okay.
100%. You know, if you're a overweight, unhealthy, not happy with where they're at with their job, single, lonely, you go, well, I can't ask anything more of the world. I don't have anything to offer. You're right? Like, the value I bring to the table is so low. How can I ask for a good environment? I have to just take whatever I'm given. And that's, I think, why there's not super high standards all over the place, is because everyone's just out there trying to get what they can get. No one is setting the tone. No one is saying for themselves, this is what I want. Because, maybe this is the second part of that, because most people think that it's given to them. I think most people think that value is bestowed upon them from an outside source, or standards are bestowed upon them from their upbringing or their parents or whatever the fuck. But it's not, right? No one comes to save you. No one gives a shit about your life, bro. No one gives a shit about what you experience. No one gives a shit about what you gain or you're feeling. Like, no one gives a shit. Everyone's so worried with their own fucking problems that no one. And if they do, if you find someone who's just absolutely dead set on helping you, and they're always about you, and they just want to do you, it's because they're avoiding themselves. And the only value they feel is when they help you. So it's not even about you at that point. It's about themselves trying to do everything for you because it makes them feel good. Yep. So then how does it help you? It's not about you. So with that being said, you look at what you're ashamed of the most in your life, and you write down what they are. And the thing that, number one, makes you feel like a piece of shit the most, create a standard for that. So an example, if you think that your entire life would be different if you got in shape, right? If you think girls would like you more, if you think you'd do better at work, if you think you'd be better with your kids, if you think clothes would fit better, if you think that the root of your fucking problems are that you're fat, make a standard in that category first. Standards can also be, habits. It's the same thing. My habits are my standards. My standards are my habits, right? My principles, my morals, my values. They're all interchangeable words. So once you set that standard for yourself and say, my standard is I do not drink alcohol anymore. Okay? That is my new standard. That is just a standard I have set for myself. I know for a fact that standard will change me physically. If I'm drinking 4 or 5 times a night or a week and I take that out, that's only going to produce good results. And that is now a standard. That is now something that I do not budge on. And guess what happens? Your self-respect grows. Your value within yourself grows, right? There's those people who have started this journey and they're annoying as fuck because all of a sudden they like ride their high horse because they don't do this or that or the other thing anymore, right? You've known those people where they start working out and then all of a sudden it's all they fucking talk about and they think they're better than everybody else because they're working out now. That's when this goes wrong. That's when you have even a smidge of self-respect that you've just gained, and now you're trying to like boast it as much as you can. Self-respect is for yourself. Self-respect is for your own value and your own mirror image. So once, I wanted to say that because I think there's a lot of like self-esteem building information out there, and it says stuff like I just said, where like build a habit with training. And if you start working out regularly, like you're going to start feeling better about yourself. You will. But don't stop. You're not better than everybody else because you're taking care of yourself now. That's not why you're doing this.
Can you marry that? Can you marry the two in the sense of like, I don't want to act pompous and I don't want to act like I'm better than other people, but I'm so excited about this that I want to share it.
Then genuinely talk about it from that point of view, meaning my life has gotten so much better since I stopped drinking. And then that's it. Not you should stop drinking, because it becomes pompous only when you start projecting that shit onto other people who aren't ready to hear it or who don't want to hear it, right? So if I say, bro, I squatted 405 yesterday and I was paralyzed 5 years ago. Yeah. Like, I am so fucking happy, dude. I never thought I'd squat ever again. And not only did I squatted a number that I'm proud of. And you're like, bro, that's fucking awesome. Congrats. And I go, thanks, dude. So how's your day going? That's probably a not pompous way to do it. But if I go, yeah, dude, you should really start trying to squat. Like, man, you could really, like, your hips are kind of like narrow. Like, you could really get an ass if you start, if I start doing that shit and like, you're like, then in your mind, you're like, bro, you're not better than me because you can squat 405. I'm not better than you because I've come back from an injury and this and that and the other thing, right? It has nothing to do with you. That is me being proud of myself, and that's how I should display that information. And that's it, period. And now let's focus on you. So what's going on in your day? Like, how are you doing? Tell me something good.
I squatted 405 yesterday.
All right, congrats, man. I think that's fucking awesome. Next time we can hold hands and squat together. Cool, right? But so I think that there's a piece of people who, fucking justify not trying to be better because they're like, well, I don't want to be this arrogant prick. Like, I don't want to be.
We lie to ourselves like
100%.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
I didn't want that girl anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that happens all the time. All the time, right? So I'm not going to get in shape because I don't want to be one of those
right.
people that, wears the tight sleeves and they're so like, yeah, you do. Yes, you do. You do want to wear tight sleeves. You do want to wear pants that make your ass look good. You do want to feel good about yourself and stop fucking lying about it. Period. Because if you didn't, then why the fuck are you here? Why are we trying? What the hell is the point of life unless you're trying to become better? What is the point? Why are you trying to fucking go to work and earn money? Why don't we just go into the woods and just fucking forage for food? If all we need is food, shelter, sex, and water, like, what the fuck is the point of all the rest of this?
It's a pretty good question.
It's the answer to that question is to experience what life has to offer, to progress ourselves through it to a point where I get to experience all that there is to experience. That's the fucking point. We've made all this shit, and it feels cool to feel things that you don't usually get to feel and experience and see and hear and smell and taste, right? And whatever you're capable of, if you're not reaching, then what the fuck is the point? You should know what it feels like to be strong. You should know what it feels like to wear nothing and fucking feel sexy. You should feel what it feels like to go 180 miles an hour in a badass fucking car. You should feel what it feels like to stand on top of a mountain and feel like the tiniest little insignificant thing because of the grandness of a mountain range. You should feel what sand feels like in between your toes. You should feel like what it feels like when you have a team that is absolutely undyingly loyal, amazing, and they believe in you. Like, people need to experience these fucking things. A fucking kiss, sex with someone you didn't think you could have sex with. Like, dude, all these things are out there, and to say and pretend that we don't want to experience that is fucking bullshit, and it's underselling our potentials for what's possible. Because you are so much more worried about not feeling wrong or not feeling bad or not feeling like you're not good enough or failing or being scared that you might look like an idiot. Like, we are so fucking more enamored with not feeling bad than we are with feeling good. That we pretend that not feeling bad is feeling good. Mm-hmm. It's not. Not feeling bad is being indifferent. I asked a buddy a couple weeks ago how the day was, and he goes, shitty. I'm like, oh, fuck, what happened, dude? He goes, nothing. What do you mean? Like, how is it shitty? Ah, dude, it's just a boring day. So your average is shitty? When nothing bad happens, your life is shitty? Bro, like, what the fuck are you doing? You're telling me literally nothing bad happened and your day was shitty. Man, that's not right. if you have to have exceptional things happen all the fucking time for it to be a good day, you're skewed. The thing is screwed up. You fucked up the equation. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Right. The absence of bad is not good. Good is good. Bad is bad. And the absence of either is indifference. And indifference is the worst place to fucking be on the planet. That's purgatory. That is nothingness. And that's that darkness and that sadness and that depression that everybody is feeling because they think they're avoiding bad, and now they're confused as to why they don't feel good. You can only feel good if you do good shit. So stop pretending that the opposite of pain is pleasure. The opposite of pain is pleasure, but if you're not feeling either one, you're feeling nothing. So like, you have to feel the opposites. You have to be risk bad. You have to do things that might make you feel bad. You have to do things that probably will make you feel bad. And then their opposite can exist in your life, and then you'll feel good about it. But if you go, I'm just going to avoid shit that's painful. I'm going to avoid shit that makes me feel bad. I'm going to avoid shit that makes me uncomfortable. You are left with nothingness. And then we fucking drink and play video games and do VR and do all this shit to like fill in the gap instead of the risk of doing something that might make yourself or someone else uncomfortable for the reward of feeling good about yourself, experiencing life, finding cool shit out about yourself and others. And it drives me fucking crazy. Because that's when people say everyone's a fucking pussy, that's why they say that. Everyone's a fucking pussy, not because you're not willing to go run through a wall or not because you're not willing to squat 400 pounds. We say that everyone's a fucking pussy because no one's willing to fail. No one's willing to look like a beginner. No one's willing to fucking eat shit. Everyone is so fucking scared of not looking perfect that no one is doing anything fucking good. They don't want to look weird by being the only person that wheels their cart back. You're a fucking pussy. You're so delicate that you feel that strangers are going to judge you for being a goody-goody. Like, you fucking serious? Like, you are a giant pussy. And if we can all just stop being pussies and risk feeling bad, you will notice how much greater our culture gets as an entire nation. Because then that self-respect, that pride, and that self-esteem will fucking shine straight through. Because we've ate shit. And once you eat shit, you know what cake tastes like. So. Fuck! All right, man. I got a client. That was my rant.
Cool.
You got any closing statements?
Don't be a pussy.
Don't be a pussy, dude. Do this shit. That's why I connected with you. Simply because you decided to quit everything and go after what you wanted. And you were willing to fuck it up. And you're willing to do shitty. And you're willing to fail. And you're willing to look stupid. And you're willing for it not to work. I don't care what else there is to be true. The fact that someone's willing to do that on their own, like you're going to inevitably either you have or you will learn the character traits necessary. And I'll fuck with that. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck yeah.
Fuck
Appreciate
yeah.
you saying that.
Yeah, dude, it's the truth. So, all right, homie.
All right.
I got shit to do.
Fuck yeah.
See ya. Peace. Bye.
Yep.